Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. New images of 3i Atlas have been potentially leaked from previously designed planetary defense systems that originated approximately 20 years ago that you probably haven't heard of. Now, some of this is speculation. So get yourself some organic popcorn and a cup of coffee, your favorite beverage, and buckle up, Buttercups. Let's go. I'm Rex Bear. Thank you very much for joining me. It is a beautiful day out here in Southern Colorado, and I've been getting as much biking as I can in the past few weeks because we do have snowstorms coming up. So maybe I'll go down south during the winter, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So check this out, and I'm going to show you the images here in a minute. There's a ton of stuff out there that's artificial intelligence and mislabeled. So this looks pretty legit. Now, in 2006, a surveillance system named Cassandra was originally outlined in a 2005 paper and appears to have been secretly activated this year to track interstellar object 3i Atlas, exhibiting anomalous behaviors. Now, it could be a chunk of a planet from billions or trillions of miles away. Some people think it could be extraterrestrial technology. It's weird. It's weird. But let me show you the image here real quick because this is fascinating. And how's your day going? I hope you're having a beautiful day today. I'm also going to show, matter of fact, why don't I show you this first? So this was, here we go. This came out in 2006, and it's a comparative assessment of different deviation strategies for dangerous NEOs, near-Earth objects. The image that I'm going to show you could potentially be from the Cassandra project / program that detects near-Earth objects and dangers for Earth. This is fascinating. So let me pull this up real quick. In this paper, a number of deviation strategies for dangerous near-Earth objects have been compared for each strategy, such as a solar collector, a nuclear blast, a kinetic impactor, a low-thrust propulsion system, mass drivers. Multi-criteria optimization methods have been used to reconstruct the set of Pareto optimal solutions, minimizing the mass of the spacecraft and the warning time, and maximizing the deviation. Then a dominance criterion has been defined and used to compare all the Pareto sets. The achievable deviation at the MOID, either for low thrust or for an impulsive variation of the orbit of the NEO, has been computed through a set of analytic formulas. The variation of the orbit of the NEO has been established through a deviation action model that takes into account the wet mass of the spacecraft at the Earth. Finally, the technology readiness level of each strategy has been used to compute a more realistic value for the required warning time. And why am I showing you this? Well, the reason I am showing you this is actually pretty simple. I'm going to pull this up right now. Check this out. Drum roll, please. Okay, what you're looking at here, now this is new to me. So if you haven't checked these guys and gals Medium page out yet, it is Earth Exists. Earth Exists on Medium. Now, the reason I'm so fascinated with this paper is I did some more research to cross-reference these alleged these planetary defense systems and a couple of these images. Now, you'll notice this image down here to the left. See how it says Cassandra, Oracle, V1, Argus, V1S. This is potentially leaked military imaging of 3i Atlas through these projects that are planetary defense projects. Could it be a hoax? It could be. However, doing some research on this and cross-referencing these names and these programs, it appears there's more to the story. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that here in a moment. I did want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor. I would like to thank Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold Investments. I've been with Noble Gold now for several years. I've bought gold and silver and platinum through Noble Gold Investments. I have friends and family that have converted their 401s and IRAs through Noble Gold Investments. And if you qualify for this month, you just have to let them know Rex from Lead Project sent you. They will gift you 10 ounces of solid silver. Now, have you checked the price of silver coins lately, or silver per ounce? It's hot. Oh, yeah. And this holiday season, when you open a qualified account through Noble Gold Investments, you will receive 10 ounces or 10 1-ounce silver holiday coins to be added to your collection. Big banks are usurping gold right now. Precious metals are hot. Now, there's obviously never any guarantees. You look at what the big banks and the money funders are doing. If anything, call up Noble Gold Investments and find out your options. They deliver. I have a friend that lives on a homestead in the middle of nowhere, and they delivered a pretty substantial amount of gold and silver to this person's homestead. So they will deliver it directly to your door. NobleGoldInvestments.com. Give them a call, 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. And that was a quick promotion of Noble Gold Investments. Okay, let's get back into this, shall we? So here we go. This is the image potentially from the Cassandra Oracle V1 ARGUS-VIS programs, planetary defense programs. So let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. This is from technical analysis, open source on the UMBRA 3IC signature. And it is actually going into detail about 3I Atlas, as well as these projects that we just looked at, the Cassandra Oracle 1. So July 2025, astronomers discovered 3I Atlas. It's also designated as C2025N1. This is the third confirmed interstellar object to visit our solar system. And unlike Oumuamua and Borisov, this comet provides unprecedented opportunities for extended observation as it approached and passed behind the sun. Now, a video purportedly showing the object bearing an unusual naming convention, as you can see right here, the C2025N1 UMBRA 3IC, with the secondary stamp reading Cassandra Oracle V1 or VI, ARGUS-VIS. This analysis examines whether these naming conventions represent authentic metadata from a classified space surveillance system or merely an elaborate fabrication, and the technical precision and internal consistency of these identifiers provide compelling forensic evidence. So let's look into this. Now, the primary identifier breaks down into 4 technically precise components, each carrying specific operational meaning. The target, that's C2025N1. UMBRA is the observational protocol. 3IC is the processing designation, and Cassandra is the name of the project. And her name was Cassandra. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's go back to the image here. This is potentially military-grade ex-GEO surveillance of 3I Atlas. Check this out. What in the heck are we looking at here? This is weird. This is weird. You know what it looks like? It looks like a crankset on a bicycle. This is pretty freaking cool. Somebody in the chat says, I call BS. You're more than welcome to. Absolutely. Please do so. If it is BS, let's debunk it and debunk it quick, because I haven't found anything to debunk this yet. And I'm not saying I'm 100% convinced either, but I'm saying this is very compelling, and let's go where the evidence takes us. This is fascinating. So the technical analysis decodes the metadata seen in the video, which shows imagery of the interstellar comet 3I Atlas. The report's key findings is that the naming convention is an unmistakable signature of successful military-grade XGEO surveillance. The analysis concludes the metadata is not a random fabrication, but a technically precise identifier from a classified space surveillance system. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Let's go back to the article here. So this is from Earth Exists. Now, the reason this is interesting is when we look at the identifier on the bottom left, it's a project called Cassandra. So let's go check out Cassandra, Project Cassandra, a comparative assessment of a different deviation strategies for dangerous NEOs. This came out in October 2006. Now, what I would like to say is one thing that I do not agree with is one writer was speculating that because this came out in 2006 and we have an image now allegedly of 3I Atlas showing an identifier of the Cassandra space program, they're speculating that they knew about 3I Atlas 20 years ago. And I don't think that that's necessarily true, because if you have a program that was designed 20 years ago or longer, it is going to be tracking different objects, and that program potentially tracking 3I Atlas because it's in play and it's a perfect project and program to follow 3I Atlas as a protocol. So it doesn't mean they knew about it 20 years ago, but it is fascinating that this project's been out for probably 20 years or longer. The paper and number of deviation strategies for dangerous near-Earth objects have been compared. So we've got solar collectors, nuclear blasts, kinetic impactors, low-thrust propulsion, mass drivers, a multi-criteria optimization method. Let's scroll down here. Among the vast amounts of small celestial bodies that orbits the sun, near-Earth objects are those asteroids whose orbits allow them to get into Earth's neighborhood. Apart from scientific reasons, such as the extensive amount of knowledge about formation, composition, and evolution of the solar system, NEOs represent a possible risk to mankind, even if not in a near term. Well, let's go back to this object again. I want to take a look at this. Here we go. So bottom left is allegedly from military-grade satellites. The one to the right is the virtual telescope that everybody has access to. And the one above it was another image that was leaked. Whether it's authentic or not, I do not know. And, you know, I mean, I'm not going to put any money on it. Well, maybe. But anyway, do they have those odds in Vegas? So let's look into this article just a little bit. Two images labeled C2025 N1 UMBRA 3C Cassandra Oracle VI ARGUS-VIS. The first is a black and white high resolution surveillance footage showing a bright central core with structured directional emissions and inset box revealed geometric patterns inconsistent with natural cometary outgassing. And that doesn't mean it's alien, which is weird. Take a look at that again. Look at that. This is the one that was also leaked in full color. And something like this can be made with artificial intelligence, or it could be something else completely imaged and labeled as 3I Atlas. I don't know, but let's take a look at it. A massive green coma surrounding a brilliant white pink core with multiple plasma streams radiating in controlled directions, not the chaotic spray of a comet being torn apart by solar radiation. You know, once again, I'm not convinced. Could be anything. This image, now I've seen this guy's YouTube channel, and you should subscribe to his YouTube channel because he is an independent astronomer. He's got his own equipment, and he has actually imaged 3I Atlas with his own equipment. And he is claiming that this is an image of 3I Atlas with stacked images. I don't know how many images he stacked, but it's interesting to say the least. Now, then we look at the Observation stamps. Now, could artificial intelligence have made this, or somebody with Photoshop that's really good at, stirring the pot and making fake images with fake military tags? Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. So if that's, if there's data to show that this is made by somebody in their basement or not the military, I'm definitely willing to look at it. Please, show it to us. But this is, as of right now, it's pretty cool. So this is the space domain awareness. Forensic evidence, okay. All right, we'll get out of here. Let's go to the next one. This is from India. This is from India. This is their technology. And this is an RGB composite of 3i Atlas with stacked images. Now, they've also got images to the left and to the right here, as you can see. This is India, which is really cool because we've been waiting for data from other countries. We've finally seen a little bit from China, which looks very similar to the ESA stuff. Not that good. It's like 8 pixels. And then we've got this, a montage of multiple 30-second exposures to the left and 10-minute exposures to the right. So you can see the 10-minute exposures. You've got these long streaks versus short exposure. You have the circular bar traveling through space at 130,000 miles an hour. But this one's pretty cool. This is a color image. Have you seen that one yet? New info from the ESA. What does the ESA have to say? Hey, since Comet 3i Atlas, the third known interstellar object, was discovered July 1st, astronomers worldwide have worked to predict its trajectory. ESA has now improved the comet's prediction location by a factor of 10, thanks to the 8 pixels that they have, that they only spent $50 billion on. Okay, I just made that last part up. Let's go back. ESA now has improved the comet's predicted location by a factor of 10, thanks to the innovative use of observation data from our ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter spacecraft orbiting Mars. Being able to use Mars-based data for an unusual observation, we learned more about the interstellar comet's path through the solar system in a valuable test case for planetary defense, even though 3i Atlas does not pose any danger. Don't you love that? Oh, I love that. We're studying 3i Atlas for planetary defense. We have activated the planetary defense system. We have secret projects we're not even telling you about potentially tracking this thing. But don't worry, it does not pose any danger. And don't worry, we're here to help. We're with the what? So until September, figuring out the location and trajectory of 3i Atlas relied on Earth-based telescopes. Then between the 1st and 7th of October, ESA's ExoMars TGO turned its eyes towards the interstellar comet from its orbit around Mars. The comet passed relatively close to Mars, about 29 million kilometers, which would be 16 million miles, approximately. And this was its closest phase, October 3rd, which we're still waiting on the high-rise imaging. Didn't the government open back up? Where's the beef? The Mars probe got about 10 times closer to 3i Atlas than telescopes on Earth, and it observed the comet from a new viewing angle. The triangulation of its data with data from Earth helped to make the comet's predicted path much more accurate. While the scientists initially anticipated a modest improvement, the result was an impressive 10-fold leap in accuracy, reducing the uncertainty of the object's location. They're admitting they were giving us data that they didn't know, but they're just like, well, why not? Now, I appreciate they're giving us the data that they have, but for people to question that data that they're not absolutely certain on, and then they question the person questioning the data that they're not certain on, like, why would you question us? We're from the government. We're here to help you. We know everything. It's like, anyway, it's just word salad sometimes, but it's exciting. So it gets about 10 times closer than the telescopes on Earth. Now they've got new data that makes it even more accurate. Scientists initially anticipated a modest improvement. No, they've got a 10-fold leap in accuracy because 3i Atlas is passing through the source. So did they update the data? Do we have new trajectory paths now? Do we have new information and new images? No, not much. Traveling with speeds up to 250,000 kilometers an hour, it will soon vanish into interstellar space, never to return. The improved trajectory allows astronomers to aim their instruments with confidence, enabling more detailed science of the third interstellar object ever detected. So what's the data? Where's it at? The resulting data on Comet 3i Atlas is the first time the astrometric measurements from a spacecraft orbiting another planet have been officially submitted and accepted into the Minor Planet Center database. Even though 3i Atlas poses no threat, it was a valuable exercise for planetary defense. ESA routinely monitors near-Earth asteroids and comets, calculating orbits to provide warnings if required. As this rehearsal with 3i Atlas shows, it can be useful to triangulate data from Earth. We're probably going to be fine, folks. I don't think that we got to worry about 3i Atlas. But what's interesting, and I was thinking about this, the more they have you look at 3i Atlas, what about all the other stuff over there? Like, what about the other Comet Atlas that broke up? And it's actually going to make a semi-close approach to Earth in astronomical measurements at the end of this month. We've got asteroids breaking up, coming back around towards the Earth. We've got stuff that we've never seen before because of new technologies that we can now pick this up. And we're all focused on 3i Atlas when potentially we could have some problems with other systems in space. It's very interesting. Now, I love, I'm fascinated with 3i Atlas. I think it's really exciting, and I'm glad we're getting all this data. But look over here, not over there. Now, even though it poses no threat, as they've said like 5 times in this article, practicing with spacecraft data beyond Earth orbits hones important skills and demonstrates the values of leveraging resources not designed for asteroid detection, boosting readiness in case of a threat. So this is what we've got. This looks like the updated data right here. So JUICE, that's the spacecraft testing, I think, some of the planets, or I'm sorry, some of the moons around Jupiter and collecting data. And here's 3i Atlas coming back, flying past Mars. And that was October 3rd. And then does its... Okay. Currently being observed by JUICE. So the comet is currently being observed by JUICE. Though JUICE is farther from 3i Atlas than the Mars orbiters, it has seen the comet just after its closest approach to the sun when it's in a more active state. We don't expect to receive data from JUICE's observations until February of next year. We've also got the UMBRA mission and then Lucy, another spacecraft. These are the images from, I think you probably saw these a couple of days ago, from the Nordic Optical Telescope. And as Professor Loeb had mentioned in this paper, 3i Atlas is still a single body with a sunward anti-tail after perihelion. The EU cosmology explains the anti-tail pretty well, I think, but these are some pretty good images from the Nordic Optical Telescope, which are just a few days old. But this is interesting. So this is K1 Atlas. It has a broken nucleus. It will be making its trajectory does have it coming, like I said, not real close, but fairly close to Earth. So we should be able to observe this. This image comes from the Sigma clipping combination of 7 60-second unfiltered exposures that were remotely taken with a Celestron C14 Paramount Me, S-Big, ST10X Me robotic unit available as part of the Virtual Telescope project in Italy. Unfortunately, we could take just a few data before clouds covered the whole sky. So let's take a look at this one. So not only is debris a concern, but what about the ion tails? What about the plasma and the electricity that radiates like those what are they called? Tesla balls, where the filaments of electricity, like you put your finger on it and the filament will link to your finger. Diamond and David Drew explained that pretty good with 3i Atlas recently, and about that anti-tail pointing towards the sun, kind of like your finger is acting like a node to that electrical filament inside of that circular ball. But I just think that, you know, we need to definitely pay attention to these other asteroids and comets and near-Earth objects. And I'm wondering if one of the reasons this big push for 3I Atlas is, you know, maybe there's something else on the horizon that they don't want us to look at as much. So let's focus on 3I Atlas. It is exciting. It is the third interstellar object. It does have some really cool anomalous features, but what else is out there? Now, this, once again, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. This is an image that was taken a few days ago from Ray's Astrophotography. He's on YouTube. You should subscribe to his channel. He is independently tracking 3I Atlas. This is an image allegedly. I mean, you may need spoonfuls of salt, not just a grain of salt, but you may need spoonfuls of salt with this. This is an alleged leaked image of 3I Atlas in full color. The one that I'm most fascinated with, though, is this guy. This guy right here. Because this is allegedly military-grade satellite technology picking this up. Allegedly. There's been several people that have attempted to take the data on the bottom here and look up if there's anything else to this other than somebody's really good skills with computer graphics or some type of artificial intelligence animation or something like that, or being mislabeled. What they found was this stamp down here. Cassandra is a project for tracking near-Earth objects, the Oracle V1 and the Argus V1S. Those are all actually, well, let's get back into it. So right here we go. Decoding the metadata stamps, and this is from reddit.com. The report's key finding is the naming convention is an unmistakable signature of successful military-grade ex-GEO surveillance. The analysis concludes the metadata is not a random fabrication, but a technically precise identifier from a classified space surveillance system. When we decode the metadata stamps, the analysis breaks down the two text strings seen in the video. The primary stamp would be C2025N1 UMBRA 3IC. And that's right here at the top. That's what it's referring to, that stamp right there. The next one, C2025N1. This is the official publicly verified International Astronomical Union designation for the comet. The report states this establishes foundation of reality, and that would be right there. Then UMBRA, Latin for shadow, this indicates the observation protocol, signifying the object was tracked during superior conjunction, a difficult observation to make as the object was positioned behind the sun from Earth's perspective. Wow. This requires a space-based asset with advanced coronagraphic glare suppression. Smoking. 3IC. Right there, boom, 3IC. This is a processing designation with a triple meaning. Image correction, standard onboard calibration and correction. Standard onboard calibration and correction. Integrated circuit refers to the onboard processing hardware like FPGA DSP that performed the corrections. Intelligence community certifies the data's origin and provenance from a classified surveillance system. Processing stamp, Cassandra, Oracle V1, or that would be 6. That would be Oracle 6, right? Argus 6S I. Or no, that's just a, is that a part of it? Or is that like a slant for the next? I guess that would, let's read into this. No, I'm talking to myself. Identifies, so Oracle identifies the Air Force Research Laboratory, Oracle Satellite Family, which is used for cislunar space domain awareness and is located at the Earth-Moon Lagrange Point 1, EML1. Argus 6S1 identifies the sensor payload, likely a visible spectrum imager adapted from the DARPA Argus Wide Area Persistent Surveillance Program. Cassandra Oracle refers to the database architecture used to handle the massive data throughput. This includes Apache Cassandra for exabyte scale video data and an Oracle database for structured geospatial intelligence. The conclusion and implications. The analysis concludes that the metadata is too specific and technically correct to be a coincidence. The most parsimonious explanation is authentic provenance from a non-public space domain awareness system. This suggests the existence of a strategic real-time military surveillance capability able to track objects even with the solar exclusion zone within the solar exclusion zone, which is historically a blind spot for surveillance. This report notes as a caveat that this analysis is based on inferences from open source information, and definitive proof would require classified documentation. So they can't confirm 100% that this is legit. It could be a hoax. It could be. And it could be legit. And it's really freaking cool. That's what I'm talking about. Hello. That's why you need to watch Leak Project every day with your favorite beverage, organic popcorn, coffee, kombucha. Watch at work, watch at home, watch while you're riding your bike. Share it with your friends. Wow. So cool. And will you do me a favor? Hit the bell for all notifications on YouTube. And if you're watching on Rumble, check us out on Rumble. Hit the subscribe button on Rumble. Please leave a comment as well in the YouTube section here, and leave a comment on our Rumble section as well, if you would, please. That helps the algorithms. That helps Leak Project grow. It takes 90 seconds to subscribe. It's totally free. We're on Patreon with exclusive content, field trips, long format interviews. That is just incredible. This is an RGB composite. If you're just joining us, this is from India's military and space program. But this guy right here, this is 2025 K1 Atlas, which is breaking up, as you can see. I think that there's going to be a semi-close approach to Earth, astronomically speaking, at the end of this month. Isn't that wild to think about? Like if they can track objects behind the sun, which I wouldn't be surprised if they have that type of technology. Why wouldn't they? Technical restraints, I guess, but it seems to me that they've got the technology. This is incredible. This is a game changer. This is amazing. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you have a beautiful day, and hit the bell. Be well, be excellent to each other, and be the change you want to see.